Welcome to your broker admin, where we dive into the latest review outcomes, share practical tips in our Hump Day helpers, and feature special industry guest interviews to help you stay on top of the game. Whether you're flying solo or part of a team, we're here to help you streamline your processes and work smarter, not harder.
This week on Your Broker Admin, we're back in the YBA Chat Room. This time for our quarterly Cynario update with co-founder and CEO Michael Richardson. But before we jump into the interview with Michael, here's your regular bonus history bite. On this day in history, June the 3rd, in 1789, Canadian explorer Alexander Mackenzie set out on his first expedition in search of a river route from Fort Chipewyan in Alberta to the Pacific Ocean. Following what is now known as the Mackenzie River, he expected to reach the Pacific, but ended up at the Arctic Ocean instead. Don't you just hate it when the modelling is wrong? Then in 1935, 1,000 unemployed Canadian workers boarded freight trains in Vancouver, beginning a protest trek across the country to Ottawa. The journey came to an abrupt end in Saskatchewan, following a violent clash with police. And in 1968, Canada announces it will replace silver with nickel in coins. On reflection, it seems Canada was absolutely carrying the historical workload on June the 3rd. After the interview with Michael, we'll make our way back to the present day with the reviews wrap-up covering the week ending the 29th of May 2026. I'm Rob Cummings. Thanks for listening to the show, and let's jump straight into the interview with Michael. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our regular guest chat in the YBA Chat Room. This week, I have Michael Richardson with Cynario back with me to do a quarterly update. Welcome back, Michael.
Thanks, Rob. Great to be back. It's scary to think that it's already been a quarter since we last caught up.
Yes, absolutely. Time does fly by. Before we sort of move on to anything that's new in Cynario, I'll do a quick recap of what we sort of covered off last time. So just the key takeouts from our last chat was that you had just completed the integration with Salestrekker 2.0. We spoke about the new or the update to your marketing capabilities. So that was around being able to link brokers' social media accounts, including Google pages, business pages, to enable the image generation and content generation to post direct to your social media.
Yes, that's right. And
the other bit was about, which we spoke about in the original video, was about your working with lenders, and you spoke about Mortgage Easy, helping them out with their internal AI policy chat function.
Yeah.
So maybe we could probably just get it if you give us a quick update on sort of what's happening in those spaces.
Yeah, absolutely. So with Salestrekker, so yes, Policy AI is live and active within Salestrekker 2.0 and going exceptionally well. So obviously we ran a trial for brokers up until I believe it's the end of last month, and now it's a complete active solution within that platform. So I guess the advantage of using Policy AI within Salestrekker is now brokers have the ability to do all of their policy research directly within their client workflow. So there's no need now to jump out of Salestrekker, come to Cynario to research, to then jump back in. So we're really looking at ways in which we can, I guess, streamline how technology talks to each other and to provide brokers with a more streamlined and systematic solution for the policy research.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
If we're thinking about the marketing side, so that's actually gotten a lot bigger than we expected in the time since launching. So I think when we last spoke, it was more around the ability now for our AI to generate image and content, with the ability then for a broker to link to their socials. So we've got so far we've got Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google Business Profile, and WordPress. So the ability with WordPress is now to generate and publish blogs and blog articles. Moving on from that, and I guess this is sort of stepping forward into what's now in final stages of testing, is now automation. So we've got a lot of feedback from brokers going, this is great. This is the ability now for us to scale our presence online, but can we schedule it? So we've been busy in the background working. We're in the final stages of testing now, but coming shortly will be the ability for brokers to schedule content up to 3 months in advance across all platforms. So they can generate a post and then schedule up to 3 months in advance. Brokers that are testing it for us now, the feedback has been absolutely phenomenal. We've got brokers now doing 3 months of content within a day or so, scheduling it, and then you don't have to worry. And that includes blog articles to their website, all posts across all platforms. They can select different days, different times to schedule depending on where their traffic is that hits their different social accounts. So that's going to be quite a powerful upgrade to our marketing capabilities within the platform.
Okay.
So that's so on marketing, that's very exciting. And then with Mortgage Easy, so that's right. Yeah, so they've now got obviously the chat interface within Medzi Broker, their broker portal. Obviously for all their policy research within there, and also within their BDM teams. So their BDM teams are actively using an internal version of our platform to respond to brokers faster towards their own policy and client scenarios.
Yep.
So that's running exceptionally well. And we're now in the process. Unfortunately, I can't say who, but we are now in the process of building out for a number of other lenders across similar sort of solutions. So watch this space in terms of from a lender perspective.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Just out of curiosity, with the marketing stuff, when you mentioned about scheduling 3 months in advance their blogs and things like that, does that sort of create a potential issue with itself that if you've scheduled your 3 months worth of blogs, that something comes out, which generally, as we know, things change quite quickly in this industry, that if you've already got blogs predated 3 months, that something pops up that's more relevant. So would they have the opportunity to replace one of their blogs with something that's topical right now?
Absolutely, yeah. So that we've got the ability when a broker actually schedules content, they can once it's scheduled, it's not fixed. So if they want to move things around, they can. It's quite literally drag and drop within the platform to reschedule and also to delete content as well. We're finding you're right to say obviously things change quite fast with the industry. With the blog articles, it's more around educational content. We're finding more so than say something very, very specific that could change. So more in terms of basic stuff that consumers will be looking for in terms of what's the difference between a fixed rate to a variable rate. Obviously, especially at the moment around positive changes to like capital gains. Things along those lines that sort of provide more, I guess, educational content, social proof. That's where the sort of blog articles tend to hit. But yes, having the ability to delete something that may be irrelevant or to update things, we've got that fully built into the platform.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So a bit of flexibility then, obviously.
Oh yeah, definitely need flexibility, especially with marketing. So.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. So that's good to get an update. What else is happening in your world with new stuff for Cynario, or if there's anything new coming up?
Yeah. So I think a lot of what we're doing now is in the new space is around refinement. We've spoken off air about this a little bit in terms of how to ask AI to get the answer that you're looking for.
Yes.
And it's something that a number of brokers have flagged with us over the platform is not knowing the right question to ask to sort of get to where they need to go. So what we've built into the platform now is a new solution called Policy Finder, and it's available across all subscriptions. It's quite literally within the middle of the platform screen when you log in, and it gives the ability for a broker to select from 3, let's call them guided journeys. So they can decide on whether it's relating specifically to a scenario, whether it's more of a curiosity around a particular policy, or if it's more of a search around comparing different lenders. And they can work through it quite literally from a click tabs, and they can work through that journey. That will actually help them to produce the prompt that they need to ask the system. And we find that's quite a good way, especially for brokers who aren't too sure what they're looking for, but need to find something that might be more of a vague thing around income policy or around SMSF, or if there's specifically 2 lenders they want to compare. So we're trying to, I guess, refine the way that a broker can use the platform to get where they need to get to faster and more efficient.
Yeah. Okay. I'll run a scenario past you, and you might be able to sort of whilst we're talking, give us like an example about the best way to actually, I suppose, work with that scenario or research it. And this is I think it's a live example, but it could be just as easy any one number of examples. But we've got a situation at the moment where we've got the particular client. I've got three factors I need to deal with around policy. I've got a Cat 4 property for a lot of lenders. I need to use 1 year's financials, and I need to exclude business debts or company debts from servicing. So I've got three criteria that we kind of need to match up. And obviously the challenge is to find a lender that potentially will cover all three of those.
Yes.
How would you recommend researching that type of scenario in Cynario?
Yep. So another sort of introduction that we've made into the platform, which has really transformed how it's more of a back end, I guess, release, but how it sort of impacts on the front end is called Deal Fit. And what we've built out now within our AI backend is the ability for the AI to look across multiple facets of a deal. So things on those lines, we've got three individual categories. Because I think, the difficulty traditionally is, I suppose, getting the AI to understand that it needs to look across all three to then determine which are the best fit. And with the new technology that we've sort of brought in through Deal Fit, the system now has the ability. So if you were to do a standard chat, put in different facets, like the three that you sort of given an example on, Deal Fit will now analyze the system and look across the lenders, almost from a category at a time, to then determine which lenders do X great out of those lenders, which lenders will do Y, and so forth. So we're building this out. It's live in the system now. We have another release that we're busy working on at the moment, which isn't quite ready, that will transform this even further. But that's where we've sort of taken the system now, is to be able to do a multifaceted query to then determine which lenders will be suitable.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's very handy, because right at the moment, probably how we're doing is we research lenders that look after one aspect of the policy part. Then we go to the second policy part and look at the lenders, and then we look at all three and go, well, which lenders are come across all three lists, and and then go from there.
Exactly, and that's the difficulty, and that would be relevant across almost every scenario in terms of there's very, very rarely just one particular question or one particular policy you're looking for. There's usually always multiple facets, whether it's Cat 4 properties, whether it's like LVR and income shading. There's always multiple factors, and that's where we're sort of taking Cynario into that next level, is to be able to identify multiple policy criteria and then determine which lenders are the best fit, hence the name Deal Fit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that'd be quite handy. So that's available, you said, in Cynario now. So if I wanted to, or any broker could jump in and sort of something like that and just stick in those criteria, and Cynario potentially would be able to go and try and research all lenders across those three criteria. Is that sort of what you're saying?
Yeah, so it's live. So it's not a new feature they have to click or subscribe to. It's more of a back end technology that we built into the platform. But it's available across both the chat perspective, which traditionally how brokers have always asked questions, but it's also available within the policy finder as well, so they can click on the scenario and sort of work it through that way as well. So it's more of a technology that a broker won't necessarily see, but it's more of a back end in terms of how we're processing and identifying the relevant data.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. So because that's always, as you said, very rarely is this just one policy thing you're looking for. It's generally multiple. So.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. Good. Oh, like I said, you've given me something to have a look at myself. What else is happening with Cynario that you're working on at the moment?
Thanks for listening to Your Broker Admin, and hope you're enjoying this week's guest interview. Got feedback, questions, or a topic you'd like covered? Head to the Contact the Show page. The link's in the episode notes. If the link's not clickable in your player, just copy it from the show notes or head to the episode description on your phone. And if you're loving the show, a rating on Apple Podcasts, a review on Podchaser, or a follow on Spotify helps others find it. You can also connect with us on LinkedIn to keep the conversation going. And now, back to the show.
Yeah, I guess this is where I can't give away too much. So we're attending quick plug to the Broker Innovation Summits, obviously, that are happening in Sydney, 24th of June, and Melbourne, 3rd of July. We're attending both of those, and I'll be on a tech panel talking and discussing around AI and innovation and where the industry is heading. We've got two major releases that we're pushing for to get ready in time for the Broker Innovation Summit. So there will be two, if we can get them finalized. They're in testing at the moment to release and launch at the summit.
Yep.
Which will be very exciting. I can't give away too much information on that at the moment. Needless to say, that we're looking at how to significantly improve a broker workflow within Cynario, and also I guess a significant improvement into how data and policy is determined within the platform. So without sounding too vague, we do have a couple of things coming.
Sure.
I can't give away it just yet. Got to dangle that carrot.
That's okay. That's all right. That's fine. So none of that's around getting the lenders to actually write their policies a bit clearer. No work on that, is it?
Look, I mean, I'm always throwing emails out to suggest. Actually, look, there has been some positives come out. We've had some lenders. I won't say who, but we have had some lenders recently testing the platform internally for their BDM teams, and funnily enough, have now realised that the broker-facing policy isn't enough. They've actually come back and agreed with me that there's definitely some work to do internally, because as their own BDMs were testing the policy that's available to brokers, they were realising that they weren't getting the answers that they knew they should get. So I think in a way it's good that lenders are now starting to realise that, given that this is the first time that AI is really being put over their data, the more that they can provide, the more comprehensive a response, the better the entire workflow. The less calls they're going to get to clarify policy, the cleaner the submissions are going to be from a broker. So that there are lenders now that are starting to understand and see the value in what they're presenting to brokers from a policy perspective. So hopefully that continues to improve.
Well, hope so, because it's a bit like plain English contracts, really. But if two things that I struggle with most lender policies is, one is finding it where it is in their policy, and then when you do actually find what you think is the policy you're looking for, you read it, and it tends to be, a lot of the time, it's ambiguous as to how to interpret the policy.
Yeah, and I think from a lender perspective, up until now, I think it's been deliberate in a sense, because I don't necessarily want to say no, because obviously we know, like, majority of lenders, there is certainly a grey area that they can play with. So I think by having that ambiguity, it sort of forces that question to then look to see if there's an exception. I guess the difficulty is at the moment is that brokers are so time poor and racing from one thing to the next, that the more information and the more structure they can get from a lender at the beginning, the easier the decision is towards where to guide a client. And I see, so that there's almost that balancing act where, yes, there is a bit of, grey within policy, but the more even that they can identify the grey, that's still going to lead to a better and stronger submission. So
that's right. And like I said, as you said, brokers are busy people, most of the time, and got a lot on their plate, trying to get decisions or scenarios or solutions for customers as quickly as possible, because that's the market. And you do tend to go down the path of least resistance. So if you know through experience, a number of lenders, this deal can sit, and you look at other lenders who goes, oh, that's a viable option, but you can't get your head around their actual policy, you're going to gravitate towards what you know.
Absolutely. Naturally. I mean, because as you said, the pressure's on from the client. Clients come to a broker wanting a solution. The broker's getting pushed into providing that solution as efficiently and as timely as possible. Of course, you're going to go down the path of least resistance. And I feel that's, especially for this particular lender that was testing, that was a huge realization in terms of, well, if our BDMs are looking at our broker facing, and they can't get the responses that they want out of our policy, then how are brokers determining this when a BDM actually knows more?
Correct.
So
that's right. Exactly.
So I think as we sort of naturally progress, I can see a lot of lenders now starting to reevaluate their policy. Also, how it's structured. and realizing that sometimes it's not written in a way that makes it clear. So there's a few lenders that we're working with at the moment to actually improve the quality of how the data and policy is structured, but also what they actually mean within their policy. Because sometimes even what's written in their policy document can be so vague, you may as well not have anything written, because it's more confusing having something there.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, it's just the way it is. But as you said, with the introduction of AI, and I suppose it's just interpreting data as it is. It's not sort of overlay of experience of like, just looks, okay, well, here's some data. This is how I interpret the data. And when the AI comes through, go, well, I don't understand. I don't actually understand what that means. It kind of does shine the light on how lender policies are written.
Yeah, exactly. And even to be honest, what's in a lender policy. I was talking to a lender the other day, and there was something written into their policy. Now, it was in policy saying they will do it, but the preference from credit is they don't like to do it. So I said, well, that's going to be confusing for a broker who looks at a policy and says, like, under your policy, yes, that this is something you would accept, but that when it gets to credit, there is a high chance for whatever that it will be denied.
Yeah.
So those sorts of things, like if it is something that you don't like to do, why is it in the why are you telling brokers that you will do it? So I think there's a lot to be done on the lender side, just around policy the clarification around it, and that's where obviously then Cynario really shine if it's able to give those sort of determinations around what a lender will actually do, exception rules, all those sorts of things. So is what we're working towards.
Okay. Well, sounds like a noble cause, Michael, that you're on. So
doing my best.
Bit like the old Monty Python search for the Holy Grail, really, isn't it? So,
I know. Haven't found it yet, but we're certainly closer than the last time we spoke.
yeah.
So,
And my experience is sometimes the journey is just as comedic as the Monty Python's part.
It's absolutely scary thought. I think the exciting part about AI and sort of where it's heading is it's not static. Like it's what we spoke about sort of in the last quarter to now. Like things are developing within the space so quickly. New models coming out at the time, reasoning, everything else behind it. So for a lot of the lenders, the space is moving so quickly it's hard to keep up, and that's where sort of we're trying to keep ourselves one step ahead of the game. We're constantly testing new solutions that are sort of being brought out, not necessarily to release right now, but to see where the capabilities and opportunities are within AI to provide value back to brokers and to lenders. This AI is here to stay. It's just how we use it, how we leverage it.
Yeah, well, that's right. That's a given, isn't it? So, and yes, you do need to stay ahead because, as we keep talking about and you just mentioned then, it changes so quickly. Just the capabilities of AI and stuff in general.
Oh, absolutely. And now with AI doing what it is, and slightly off topic for Cynario side of things, but obviously from the security perspective, obviously there's been a lot of talk in the media around sort of fraud and that sort of thing. So now to think that we're at a point now where we have AI fighting AI from a fraud perspective is phenomenal. It's mind blowing how fast this industry is moving.
Yeah, well, it's a very good point because it'd be naive to think that criminals and stuff like that aren't using AI to their own advantages. So,
oh, absolutely, I think that's inherent on any industry. There's going to be the good players and the bad, and unfortunately, a couple of bad apples can ruin it for a lot of good ones. So I think, especially from a data security perspective and from fraud, obviously there are some incredible developments happening with FraudX is one. Obviously, from a fraud perspective, like the developments that are coming out into the market now to help to protect brokers and lenders from AI fraud. It's phenomenal. But getting slightly off track onto something else. But
that's getting very philosophical today, Michael. So maybe that's a good opportunity to we'll actually call that quits for today before we get too far down to the philosophy track.
No, there's a big rabbit hole there. It's just waiting to run down.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, great to catch up again. I said I like to think that we don't get to the point where technology is moving that fast. We have to do monthly updates because that would be much as it'd be great to talk to you every month. It's kind of that's a little bit over the top. So again, yeah, I said thanks very much for coming in. Give us an update. All sounds very exciting for yourself and Cynario where this is all going from that point of view. Enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend coming up. All the best with the what were the dates again of the
Broker Innovation Summit. So we've
yes.
got so Sydney, 24th of June, and that's at the Telstra Centre, so in the middle in the middle of the city. Melbourne is the 3rd of July at Fed Square. Both events, like last year, they were phenomenal. Everything, for any brokers around tech and innovation, this is the summit of the year for it. Last year was phenomenal, and this year's building to be even.
Okay.
I know we say even bigger every year, but the speaker lineup's fantastic.
I'm assuming there's a link to something I could potentially post in the show notes of today's episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll send one over to you so you can let everyone know about it.
Yep. I'll include that in the show notes of the episode. All right. Okay. I'm going to finish up there today. Thank you very much. We'll do this again probably in next quarter in 3 months' time and see what's going on, what changes are happening.
Sounds good.
Until then, all the best and enjoy the rest of your week.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. See you soon.
Bye. This week's reviews wrap up looks at outcomes from the past week ending the 29th of May 2026. We had just the 3 reviews completed that resulted in rate reductions being obtained, delivering around $1,000 in interest savings for those borrowers, along with a couple of lending opportunities from our client conversations, totaling $1.45 million. The majority of that interest savings number was for a Great Southern Bank customer with 2 loans which both received a rate discount of 0.15%, which amounted to a total savings of $850. Now, the 2 lending opportunities uncovered were both internal refinances. The first was around $1.15 million for a CBA customer who was on their basic product at a rate of 6.74%. The loan was settled back in 2022. And the other, approximately $315,000 for a Westpac customer, again on a basic product, looking to move to another lender and set up an offset facility. This loan was part of a purchase loan book with the loan settling in 2023. This week's review conversation was with a client who has their loan through Bendigo Bank. It's a smallish investment loan that settled back in 2023 and forms part of that same loan book I mentioned earlier. So this is the client's first real contact with the new broker since the changeover, other than an introductory email. As part of our review, a small discount was obtained on their loan. We spoke with the client at length to firstly introduce ourselves, let them know we had completed their review, along with the outcome, and outline the broker's service commitment around ongoing reviews. The client commented that they appreciated the review and outcome, albeit small. They then mentioned that they were aware that the new broker is now looking after their loan, but had no questions at this point. They stated it was a steady ship for them at the moment, but may reach out to the broker next year sometime. A confirmation email of our conversation was sent to the client, and the broker notified accordingly via a review record into their CRM system. So there you go, another week under the belt. No sparkly blockbuster results this week, just consistent reviews, a couple of worthwhile opportunities, and another client successfully transitioned into a new broker relationship. Sometimes that's exactly what good client service looks like. Mind you, one broker was pretty chuffed about the $1.15 million refinance opportunity. Funny how that happens.
Thanks for listening to your broker admin. If you've got feedback, questions, or a topic you'd like covered on the show, you can now send it through via our Contact the Show page. The link is in the episode notes. If the link's not clickable in your player, just copy it from the show notes or head to the episode description on your phone. A rating on Apple Podcasts A review on Podchaser or a follow on Spotify all help the show reach the people it's built for. This has been your broker admin for those who like their process neat.